Okay. So if you are writing request dot get attribute means what? Means you are talking about the request scope. Okay. So request dot get attribute, request dot set attribute, session dot set attribute, session dot get attribute. Then you are talking about session object. So now we are going to discuss application scope. So what is application scope? So see, when you want to put your data in such a manner that your data should be available, you know, from the beginning to end of the project, from the start of the project to the end of the project, means your project will be shut down. Okay, start to shut down. So from beginning to last, if you want to access some information on every page, then you can use what? Application scope. You put your data in application scope, and that is going to be available throughout your application. So whenever you want, you can access it. Okay, on whatever the page you want to access the information, it can access the information. Okay, there will be no restriction. So most of the time, when there are some common information, okay, that should be available throughout your project. So you are putting that information in application scope. And when you are using session scope, if you want to access some information only during a fixed time interval, okay, or a limited time period, then you are using session scope. And you know what about request scope? The information can be accessed only during the single request, only one request. So that is what that is request scope. So let us see the example of application scope. So first of all, uh, how you can put your data in application. Let us run this first. Uh, Before we discuss anything, mm, I want to discuss, one more concept, and that is called listener, so that I can discuss, listener and application scope simultaneously. You know what is, application scope? We'll see the program, but a little bit of listener discussion will be required. So where is my listener? 1 minute. Go. Okay. You don't need to read all these stuff. So if you remember, we have already discussed servlet context and servlet config. So, do you remember the use of servlet context? What is the use of servlet context? If you want to provide some information that should be shared by all the servlets, what you can do, you can provide that information in web.xml using servlet context. So servlet context is representing what? Servlet context is representing, application scope actually. And one can access this information by whatever the concept I told. Means using application scope and using dollar, and you can write the parameter names. So there is another way to do it, and that is by using listener. So first of all, what is listener? Before we know listener, we should know events. What are events? So events are basically occurrence of something. Events means occurrence of something, and changing the state of an object is known as a. Okay. For example, when your application is up, okay, then that is an event. When your application is going to be shut down, that is an event. Hmm? When a session is created, that is an event. When a session is destroyed, that is an event. Fine. So events are going to be happen for a very short interval of time. So there are predefined events. You don't need to bother about. Now we can perform some important tasks at the occurrence of events, such as counting current login users, creating table of the database at the time of deploying the project, creating database connection object. Hmm? So a couple of tasks you can perform during the occurrence of event. Okay, for example, when your project is going to be deployed, okay, then if you want to perform some operation, what you can do, you can perform that. When your project is going to be shut down, and during the shutdown, if you want to do something, for example, if you want to give some print statement, then you can do that. When a session is going to be created, okay, if you want to do something, you can do that. So that's the use of event. Now, so there are a variety of predefined events. So first of all, see this servlet context event and servlet, you know. So there is a event servlet context event. Now, for example, suppose your project is up, means it's going to be deployed. Then how will you come to know that project is going to be deployed? Or it's shut down. It's going to be shut down. So how will you come to know that project is going to be shut down? So this C corresponding to every event, there is a listener. Okay, like servlet context event, and the corresponding listener is servlet context listener. Okay, so who can who can listen this event? If this event happens, only listener can listen that event, only corresponding listener. So this listener knows, okay, about the happening of this event. Fine. So we are going to discuss one of the events, Servlet Context event. If you see here, the Servlet Context event is notified when web application is deployed on the server. So as soon as your web application will be deployed on the server, so this event will happen. And who knows this, that this event has happened? Servlet Context listener knows. Okay. So since Servlet Context listener knows this, so if you want to do something at the happening of this event, this listener can help you. Okay, listener will tell you, yes, this event has just happened. If you want to do something, just do so. So, see, if you want to perform some action at the time of deploying the web application, such as creating database connection, creating all the tables of the project, you need to implement Servlet Context Listener interface. So this is what? Basically, this is an interface. And provide the implementation of its method. So, there is only one method defined in Servlet Context Event class. What is the method? Get Servlet Context. Okay. And what it returns? It returns the instance of Servlet Context. And what is Servlet Context? Servlet Context, you can think it's application scope. This is application level thing. Now there are two methods in Servlet Context Listener interface. What are the two methods? Context initialize and context destroy. Okay. So you must, when you are using this interface, then what you need to do? Since these are the two methods, you must need to implement it. Okay. Context initialize and context destroy. So implementation means what? See, context initialize is going to be invoked when application is deployed on the server. Okay. Means, see, if you have written some code within this method, in the implementation of this method, so what is going to happen? This method is going to be called at the time of deployment. So if you want to do something on the time of deployment, write within this method. And when this method is invoked at the time of undeployment from the server. So if you want to do something on when your project is going to be or your application is going to be undeployed from the server, then write the code here. Just like that, we have another event that is called HTTP session event. Okay, and the corresponding listener is what? HTTP session listen. So the HTTP session event is notified when session object is changed. Already what is session object. And the corresponding listener interface for this event is HTTP session listen. Again, we can perform some operations at this event, such as counting total, okay, number of users, counting current logged in user. Since these informations are related with what? Related with the session, okay, that how in particular session, okay, how many users have accessed the application, currently how many users have logged in, maintaining a log of user details such as login time, logout time. So all these things are related with session. So you need to use what? If you need, in such case, you need to use HTTP session listener. So again, HTTP session listener is having two methods: session created and session destroyed. Okay, so you must need to implement these two methods. So when what you are writing in session created, At the session creation time, if you want to do something, then right here. Okay. At the session destroy time, means just before destroy, if you want to do something, right here. Okay. So this method will be called at the time of session destruction. This method is going to be called at the time of session creation. Now, let us see an example. Then you can understand, in a better way. See a program, first of all. Mm, If you see the program, then you can understand better. First of all, if you want to use a listener, then what you need to do? You will write a Java class, and suppose you want to use servlet context listener. Means you want to do something at the time of deployment of project or at the undeployment of the project. Then what you need to do? You need to use servlet context listener. Okay, in the PPT, this is the first listener we discussed. Fine. Now, but how will you use this? Since this is the interface, your Java class must should implement it. Okay. So see, I'm going to create my listener. Okay. So see, I have created this class application scope listener. Fine. So this is my class I have created. You can write it anything. Okay. So I have created application scope listener and it implements servlet context listener. So what will happen? It means since this one is implementing servlet context listener, so this becomes a listener also. Now, implementing servlet context listener means what? You need to implement two methods of it. Context destroyed and context initialized. Fine? Don't you just need to remember that you need to implement these two methods. And this one is taking a servlet context event parameter. Okay, this one is also taking servlet context event parameter. Now see what I want. I want to put some information, okay, at the time of deployment of the project. So what I need to do? I should do that thing here because this method is going to be called at the time of deployment. So what I will do? Or 0, you can see this is the parameter servlet context event. Okay, this is means application level event dot get servlet context. What it's going to do, it will give you servlet context object. Servlet context object means, if you remember, there are two types of objects, servlet context and servlet config, if you remember. So what is servlet context? Servlet context object is going to exist only one object per application. Okay, and anyone can access it. So you are getting servlet context object blank you are getting. Now what you are doing? Dot set attribute. Set attribute what? Email. And email is what? Corresponding value. Jacob Java @gmail.com. So what happens? This is application scope. Okay, this is application scope you are getting, and in application scope you are setting attribute as this key value pair. So this is key and this is value. Fine. So now in application scope you have this information, email and etc. Okay. So you know the property of this object application scope or servlet context object? Anyone can access it on any page throughout the application. Now, what about this method? When you want to do something, when you know project is going to be undeployed or it's going to be destructed or shut down from the server, then at that time, if you want to do something, you can write here. But I'm not going to do anything here. Okay, that I don't know. Okay, when this one is going to be called. Okay, this method or when my application is going to be destroyed. So, but see, since this interface is having two methods, I must need to implement it. So implementation means what? If I am writing curly brace after method, it means I have implemented this. I have written a sysout or if I'm not writing sysout, it doesn't matter. Just if I am providing two curly braces means I have implemented simply. So see what I have done. Only two curly braces. I'm doing nothing. Okay, but it's implemented. Right? So now I have created my listener. Simple. See, and listen is what? .java file. What will be the name of this Java file? Application scope listener dot java. See. If I want to use this listener, means see in application scope, the state attribute is email. I want to access email on some particular page, for example. Then what I can do? Suppose I want to access email on a JSP. So suppose this is a JSP. See, I have not written on the code. So if I want to access email, what I will do? See, the simplest way, last one, $email. I will write this key. What I will get? I will get the Jacob Java email. It will be printed. Another two ways, $application scope dot email. Okay, this is application scope is what? This is inbuilt object. Okay, this is called EL object. So application scope dot EL. So it's going to give me same information. Okay. Now you know this one also. Here you have written set attribute, so you can use get attribute also. So this is using expression tag. This one and this one you are writing application dot. Previously you wrote request dot get attribute. Now this one is application scope, so you are writing application dot get attribute. So these are the ways you can access this information and whatever the JSP, this email is going to be available there. Okay, so suppose you are having 100 pages and in your project and you want to display your email on every page. So what you can do, on every page you will go and you will write just $email and your job is done. So you can use either of all these three are going to produce the same effect. Last thing. If you want to use a listener, so listener must be registered in the web.xml file. Okay. So servlets, etc., whatever you are using. So within web app tag, what you need to do, you need to use listener tag. Okay. And here listener class tag, and in listener class, what you are doing, whatever the listener you are using, you are writing the fully qualified class names. What's my listener? Application scope listener. So this is application scope listener. And suppose this one is in the package com.servlet.listener. So with package name you are writing listener class. So this is the actual class name. Now, so we are going to do this. So in application scope, Where is web.xml? This is your web.xml. Fine. So what I can do? First of all, I want to, have I created a listener? No, I haven't created a listener. So what should I do? Please tell me. First of all, I should create a listener or not? Yes, I should create a new listener. So new, first of all, I'm going to create a package or on the okay. I can create a separate package here for that one also. No problem. So com.servlet dot I can create what? LISENS. Okay. I can write the Java file here also, but if you see this, you can understand easily. Okay. Okay. So com.servlet.listener package, and I will put my listener here. So right click, new, and what? Listener is a simple Java class. If you see, I can create manually, okay, a Java class implement, but you see, you have option also, create listener. Okay, I have created a listener. Okay, what is the name of the class? Tell me. See this. I'm going to create this one. So this is application scope listener. So I'm right. This is my class name. Application scope what listener. Everyone is following me. Everyone can hear me.
Yes.
Yes.
So see, I'm creating application scope listener. Okay, this is my class, but it will not going to behave as a listener until unless you know what I'm going to do until unless I will implement what I will implement subnet context. Hmm? So right here, subnet context. Oh, okay, just doing it. Okay. Is there any subnet context listener? Next, finish. Can you see this? There were various listeners. I selected one of them, and that was subnet context listener. So, what you need to do? See, delete all the stuff. Just the listener is having two things. Content.
Provide.
1 minute. Yes, yes. Tell me, tell me.
Servlet context listener is the predefined
Yes,
class
yes,
name or
yes,
oh,
yes. I have discussed this one. Okay, see here.
okay. Thank you.
Can you see servlet context event and corresponding to this we have servlet context listener. Okay,
Oh,
so this
okay.
is
Okay.
predefined. Right?
Thank you very much.
So, but this one is not predefined. This one I am creating. This is user defined.
Mhm.
Application scope listener. This is created by me. Fine.
Got it.
So this is my listener, and so this one should be have as a listener only. It will behave only as a listener only when I will implement this listener. Okay, until unless it's not going to behave as a listener. And this since servlet context listener is having two methods, context destroyed and context initialized, I need to implement it. So here I'm not doing anything in destroy. What I am doing here, I want to implement this one. So at the time of deployment, whatever I write here, that is going to be done. So what at time of deployment, what I want to do in application scope, I want to set data. So how will get the application scope? Using this. Okay. C, control C, control V. Okay. Dot what? I will get get servlet context. Get servlet context means application scope. Remember, okay? I told there are two types of objects: servlet context and some servlet config objects related with an application. Okay? So it will give you what? It's going to give you application scope and dot set attribute. So you can see set attribute. What? Key value pair. What is key? Email. Here you can write only object, remember. So email is a string, string is an object. Okay. And corresponding to email, here you can write anything. What? JSL, Java @gmail.com. Fine. So this is key, this is value. Since a hash map or any collection is going to contain objects. Okay, so here this one is object, this one is object. Fine. So in application scope, I have written it. Fine, my job is done. See, you can do. You have two options. Either use, annotation like web listener annotation, or use web.xml. But my recommendation is you use it after some time. Okay, control use web.xml. So I have commented this one. What I am going to do in web.xml, I am going to register my listener. So this is my web.xml, and I will register it. See, this is not going to be within any servlet or any. It will be just within web app. Okay. So here write listener listener type. You can see, and what is this? After them, listener class. Fine. Listener class. Now within listener class, what you need to do? You need to write the fully qualified class name. So this is what com dot servlet dot. Is there any way copy qualified name? Let us see. Where is your dot xml? Oh, but it's not writing like that. Okay, fine. Com dot servlet. Okay, what I'm going to do? At least I can do this. Com dot servlet dot what? Listener dot application scope listener, and here dot need to write there. So now your listener is registered here. So we have done what? We have done these two parts. I have written this one. I have registered this one in web.xml. Now third part, I can access this information anywhere. Okay. So what I want? Actually, this is my session.jsp. In session.jsp on the top, I want to print my email. Okay. So see, admin email is this one, this one. See, I have written this. Admin email is this one. After then I am putting a slash, and I am using another method to print. Okay. Then I am putting a slash and then email. Okay. So control tab. I'm going to run this. So session.js, run it. Run, next, remove all, finish. See, in the very beginning, what is happening? Just see here. At the time of deployment, what happened? I put email as a Jacker Java dot okay. And when my project started running, so you can see here admin name email is what? Jacker Java at the rate email.com. Using another approach is printing like this. Using another approach is printing like this. So using three ways I am printing this. So this data is coming from where? This one is coming from application code. And so which one is the easiest method? The easiest method is this one. Now, so if I ask that if you write dollar email and okay, if I write this one, what will happen? Can anyone tell me? Can comment this? What should be the output? No one is telling anything. We have already discussed this. If you don't tell anything, so you must need to remember such type of things. Request.get attributes. We have seen application.get attribute here you have used. Just like that, if you are using request.get attribute, so what it's going to do?
Sorry, forget.
Forget.
Just get the email right again.
Even from where?
The form.
There are three types of scope: request,
From the
session,
request scope.
and from the request scope. So it's going to look where? Please tell me. In
The
request,
form, right?
in request object, okay? In request object, it's going to look for email. So have you written anywhere request.set attribute? No. In application scope, you have put your email, not in request scope. These are the three different types of objects, remember. Okay. So if you have put your email in application scope, you cannot access it by using request scope. Fine. So see, if I am uncommenting this, see what is happening. Last word. Oh my God, if you don't. And here I am putting a slash so that you can control it. And I'm now refreshing it. So after this, you can realize F5. Can you see what's happening here? None. Means nothing. It's telling you are what you are telling. You are telling that from request scope, give me email. But what is email? In request scope, there is nothing like email. Email is in application scope. Now, your question may be that last time you wrote this one and this one fetched data from request scope. Your question should be this. But this one is giving you email. So what is happening? Just see. Whenever you are writing something like dollar and here you are writing attribute, for example, email. What is happening? Suppose you are writing dollar email. See, remember, if you are writing dollar email, so what is happening? There are three types of objects. This is request, this is sender, and this is application. Fine. So first of all, email is going to be searched in request scope. Okay. If it is not found, then it will go in session scope. If it is not found here, then it will go in application scope. What is happening in your case? So if you remember here, so if you are writing here dollar email, so it will look for a request. So there is nothing in request scope like email. Then session, no, there is nothing. Then application, and in application, yes, email is there. Email is Jacob Java, so it's printing that. So that is the working of dollar email. And this one, if you are writing a dollar application scope dollar, so this one is particularly going to look application scope. Please ask me the question if you have any confusion. Discuss only this part.
Hello, Professor. This is Caesar. Can you show us one more time how you created the super class for a listener?
Don't worry about that. That is easy. You can take the help of this. If you don't want, you can manually first of all see where is listener. Application is for listener. So this one you can simply just create a class, okay, like and write public class application is for, and manually write implement this one and manually write this, okay. But if you are using editor, it can be created easily. So how can you use editor, you are asking, okay. So right click here. I'm going to create another, okay, new and but listener, right. For example, class name is Prabhat listener, okay. This is class name. Now do next. Do next. See here. You can see there are variety of listeners here.
Yes.
Servlet context listener, servlet context attribute listener, HTTP session listener. Okay, I have mentioned HTTP session, in the PPT. I have just mentioned only two listeners, servlet context and HTTP session. But I told a variety of listeners exist, and you can do a variety of tasks. Okay, if the events happen corresponding to that. But servlet context listener is going to be used if you want to do something at the deployment time or when your project is undeployed from the server. So at deployment time means in the very beginning of the project, I want to put some information in application scope, and the property of application scope is that it will be available throughout the application. So see, I have just checked this one. Fine. Now do next. Prabhat listener is created and it automatically create all this stuff. So
Thank you.
now I'm deleting this. Can I delete this? Yes. But you need to register this one in, web.xml also. Fine. Anyone having any query, any question? last one is this diagram is explaining everything in short. I hope you understood this. So, what we discussed, if you remember, we discussed two things here. One concept is listener. Okay. So, using listener, we access, application scope object and we put information in application scope. Okay. And we discussed application scope also, that how to put information in application scope and how to access that. So two things we discussed. See, if someone is not getting anything, I have no problem in explaining. I'm not very sorry. Okay. But if you are not understanding and you are not asking, then it will be difficult for both of you.
I have a question. Can you tell me like the use of it, like one more time? Like, why do you want to store that in an application scope?
Suppose in the very beginning, your project is going to be deployed on the server. Okay? It's happened or not? Your project will be deployed on the server. So what I want, my requirement is that my email should be appeared, my email means Prabhat, something, should be available to this project throughout. Okay? So, application scope is what? Application scope or servlet context object. It's such type of object in which if you put any information, that is going to be available throughout the application. Okay. So what I did, at the time of deployment, I put my email in application scope. Means in the very beginning, I put my email. And how I put my email? So first of all, I got the reference of application scope using get servlet context method. Then using set attribute method, I put my email as a record hour. So now what happened? In application scope, I put my email. Now this is going to be available on every page. Okay, if you want to print email on every page, just go to that page and print that. For example, if you see here, where I am printing my email on which page? I'm printing my email on the session.jsp page, if you see here. Now, see, I'm doing a little bit more. 4 and here factorial and 7, something like this, factorial, and so session data. So suppose this is another page, so session data. I want to print my email on this page also. So what I will do? I have already session scope, application scope data. So what I will do? See, I can copy this. Okay, admin email is C. I'm going to copy this part only. Okay, fine. Control C. And where is source session data.jsp? Source session data.jsp. And what I can do? At the top, I want to print it. I have written control F. Fine. So see, I'm refreshing this. Can you see this? On this page, this data is available. Application scope data right now, email, it will be applicable throughout the application, and it will be available for all of the pages. If you want to access it. You got it or not?
I got it. I got it. Thanks.
Anyone having any query question? Yes, yes. Okay. Anushka, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Did you get what we discussed?
Yes, I did.
So this concept is all about, scope. Mm, Now, what we are going on, and we discuss in this context, we discuss listener also. Okay, what listener is doing? Listener is listening events. Okay, and what are events? Events. The events are predefined. Okay, like mm, for for Tomcat, deploying a project is an event. Shutting down a project or undeployment of a project from the server is an event. When a session is going to be created, that is an event. When session is going to be destroyed, that is an event. So there are variety ways of events. Okay, and if that event is happening and you want to do something at the time of happening of that project, what you can do? You can use listener corresponding to that event because only listener knows when that particular event happened. So it's continuously watching that event to happen. Okay. And as soon as that event happens, listener is doing the job. Okay. So you have seen here. We did this, we put this information, email at the time of deployment. It means in the very beginning. So my listener realize that when your project is or when this project is deployed, and at that time is put email in application. So simple. There is one more thing that is called filter. Listener one. Filter. Filter, in general meaning of filter. Filter means something is used for filtering. That is called filter. Mm. Okay. So in Java, filter is what? Filter is an interface. Listener is what? Listener is an interface. Filter is what? Filter is an interface. Okay. What is the job of filter? So a filter is an object that is invoked at pre-processing and post-processing of a request. This line is important. Pre-processing and post-processing of a request. What it means? Just concentrate on this figure. What is the meaning of pre-processing? First of all, forget about this F1 and F4. Just think it's not here. So normally what is happening? This is client and this one is sending a request to servlet or not? Tell me yes. So who is processing the request? Servlet is processing the request, and after processing the request is sending a response to the client. Okay. So pre-processing, here processing is done. So here processing is done. So before processing starts, okay, before doing the processing of the request, if you want to do something, means from at this point to at this point, if you want to do something in this time interval, or after processing, if you want to do something, then what you can do, you can use filter. Okay? So after process the result, if you want to filter, you can filter. Before process the result, or before process the request, if you want to filter something, you can filter. Or if you want to do something, you can do. So for that task, you are going to use filter. And so where filter exists, filter is going to be exist between client and the server. Okay. And remember, you can apply a number of filters, not only one filter. First, you can apply filter 1, then filter 2. Okay. So what will happen in this case if two filters are applied? First of all, filter 1 will be done, then filter 2 will work, then servlet will do its job. After then, see what is going to happen. It will come to filter 2. So filter 2 will do its task, then filter 1 will do its task, then the final output is going to be sent to the client. So this is the flow. Now, so theory you can understand only when if you see the program. Hello, Uttam is sharing screen. What happened? Uttam, what is happening? So let us, yeah. So this is the most important thing. Before processing and after processing means pre-processing and post-processing of a request. If you want to do something, okay, so you can use filter. Okay, so it's mainly used to perform filtering tasks such as conversion, logging, compression, encryption. Okay, see, this is one of the most important tasks that can be done. Before a request is going to be processed, what you can do, if you want to encrypt it, then you can encrypt some encryption algorithm. Okay, if you want to compress the data, okay, before sending it, you can use that. Okay, so before processing, first of all, it will be compressed or encrypted, and then it will be sent. Okay, so encryption, decryption, before sending the request, if you want to validate it, so you can use validation. So a couple of tasks you can do. Next thing is the servlet filter is pluggable. Pluggable means its entry is defined in web.xml file. So if we remove the entry or filter from web.xml file, filter will be removed automatically, and we don't need to change the sub. Okay, so if you want to use it, just use it in web.xml file. Okay, just comment its entry web.xml file and filter is not going to work. So maintenance cost will be less. Now see this part. Okay, filters perform filtering in do filter. This is important method, do filter. So do filter method of, filter. This is the responsible method for doing the stuff. What do filter method is doing? Every filter has the access to a filter configuration object from which it can obtain its initialization parameters different to Servlet context, which it can use, for example, to load resources needed for filtering tasks. But you can understand only when if you see the program. So see, since filter is an interface, so there are three methods here: destroy method, do filter method, and init method. Okay, so destroy method is for what? It's going to be called by Tomcat to indicate to a filter that it is being taken out. Means if filter is going to be undeployed, okay, or it's going to be taken out of the service, then destroy method is going to be called. Means at the destruction of the filter, this method is going to be automatically called. So, and init is what? Init is basically, this is called by web container means Tomcat to indicate to a filter that it is being placed into service. Okay, so in the very beginning, this method init method is going to be called, and this is for configuration purpose. But main thing is you should know this one actually. Do filter. So it's taking request, response, and there is one more thing, filter chain. Filter chain is an interface. So the do filter method of a filter is called by the container each time. See, container each time a request response pair is passed through chain due to client the request for a response at the end of. So this one is a little bit confusing. So what is the meaning of this? You can understand only by looking at program. So because you don't know what is filter chain, so a little bit of filter chain. Let us see. So filter chain is doing to what? It is used to invoke the next filter in the chain. Okay. Suppose you are using filter 1, okay, then filter 2. What filter chain is doing? This is a chain. Filter 1 will be invoked, then filter 2 is going to be invoked. Okay? Or if the calling filter is the last filter in the chain, then the resource at the end of the chain. Okay? So if here is F1 and there is no filter, so last resource will be what? For example, it will be a servlet. So this servlet will be called. Okay. So either next filter will be called or the last resource, whatever is going to be called. So here it's written the resources at the end of the filter chain can either be a target servlet or the client. Okay. See. Where you are giving entry in web.xml, you need to use filter tag. So see, this is filter tag, and corresponding to this, we have filter mapping tag. So in filter tag, we have filter name, filter class, okay, and in filter mapping tag, you can see you have filter name and URL pattern. Right? So in URL pattern, we will see what we need to do. We are most of the time we are writing the name of the servlet, because what filter is doing? Suppose there is a servlet S1. So if you want to apply a filter before servlet S1, so in URL pattern you need to write the name of the servlet. Fine. Yeah. So here you can write the name of the servlet. Here you can write, or here in URL pattern you can write. Okay. Anyone you can use. Now, filter name can be anything, my filter, and here my filter. This is very much like servlet, okay? And filter class fully qualified, you know, here or actual name of the class. Now, let us see example of this, then you can understand. So see, this is my very first page, something like HTML. Okay, this is HTML5 and only one line is there. href equals to, what will happen? Click here. If I click, servlet 1 will be called or not? Please tell me yes or no.
Yes.
So what I am doing, on clicking a hyperlink, first of all, I am calling a servlet. So servlet 1 is what? See, I have a servlet in web.xml file. So servlet 1 means I am talking about hello servlet should be called. Fine. So where is hello servlet means this should be called. Fine. But see, this web.xml file is going to be read in the very beginning. But the Tomcat knows that you are using filter also while reading this. So since there is a filter tag here, filter and filter mapping. So one filter is used. So filter is going to be applied before servlet or after servlet. Okay, before servlet and after servlet. Okay, means whatever filter is doing, what is going to be happen, that is going to be invoked before a servlet and after a servlet. Right? So see what is going to happen. If you click this, servlet 1 will be called, means hello servlet will be called. But before processing this servlet, what is going to be happen? Java knows, or Tomcat knows that I need to apply a filter also. So it's going to do a filter. It's okay. So see, hello servlet. So if you see here, here it's written servlet 1. So here it should, what is the URL pattern of this servlet? Servlet 1. This servlet is known by what? Servlet 1. So in URL pattern of the servlet, here it's written servlet 1. What it means? It means that this filter should execute corresponding to servlet 1. Means before servlet 1 and after servlet 1, this filter should be executed. Okay. So servlet 1 means this one. This is servlet 1 actually. Means hello servlet. Fine. So this filter means what? F1 is going to be mapped, this one is going to be mapped F1 is going to be mapped here F1, and here is going to my filter. So my filter is here. So my filter implements what? Filter is an interface, so it must be implemented. So see, there are three methods in filter interface: init, destroy, and do filter. So don't worry about init, don't worry about destroy. But you must need to implement it, so write a curly brace here. Actual job is going to be done by do filter. So do filter is taking request, response, filter chain, etc., etc. Now, actually, you don't need. I don't want to use this to avoid unnecessary confusion. So, see, before doing this, what is going to happen? This will go inside this filter, and what this filter will do, it will print this line in console. This out filter is invoked before. Okay. Actually, I have written some wrong. This one should be 1. Okay. This is the first output. After then, what it's telling? See here. Concentrate on this part. This is where is the do filter chain? Can you see this variable chain? Filter chain type. So chain dot do filter is called. So it's telling what? This is important. It's telling that please call the next filter in the chain. What it's telling? It's telling that please call the next filter in the chain. Okay. But how many filters are there? Only one filter. So there is nothing like next filter. So if there is nothing like next filter, so who is going to be called? Servlet is going to be called. See, there is F1, filter 1, after then servlet in our case. So what happened? This filter is doing what? This filter printed something like this. After then, chain dot do filter is doing what? It's telling that all the another filter. Okay, next filter, but there is no filter. It's servlet. So what is going to happen? Servlet will be called. So after then, what is going to happen? After this line, now servlet will be called. And what it will do? It will do I am from servlet. Okay. Now this job is done. Servlet job is done. What will happen? It will come back. See, this one was what? This one was pre-processing, and then this one is what? This is doing the actual processing, and after then when it will be done, then it will come back, means after servlet processing is done. So this one is post-processing task. Okay, so this one will be what? Output number 3. So after servlet is done, this line is going to be executed. Filter is invoked after. You got it or not?
So if we have multiple filters, so it goes checking in sequence, so no matter what our name is.
Yes. Suppose this one is F1, okay? Then F2 is applied, and then there is a servlet. What is going to be applied? First F1 executed, then it will go to another filter, fine, and then it will be executed. And after then it will go to the servlet. And when it will return in the reverse order. Fine?
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Professor, so is it mandatory to use chain? If we do not use chain, will it be?
No. You should use chain actually. Okay. You should use
So
chain.
if there is 3 filters, then we have to use the chain 2 times, or just one is enough?
No. Here only one time is enough. It's going to, see, it's going to call another filter. Fine. So
Yes.
see, here this is one filter, my filter. So you will write somewhere another filter also. You will create a separate class, and that class will use its own do filter method. That's what it will do. It will tell you go to another filter.
Okay. Thank you.
So, okay. So what we can do? Fine. Close it. Oops, and we did listener also. So what we can do, 1 minute. Just give me, 2 minutes. Okay, one thing you can do, you can take a 5 minute break, right? Then you can come back, everyone.
Okay.
Have a 5 minute. Everyone is back.
Yes.
Okay, so quickly we can see a program so that you can understand the concept. So see, we have already discussed, where is that? Filter one, program, all the files I have discussed. So I'm not going to write this. Okay, I have already cleared. So if you see the filter demo, so what I am having, this is one servlet. Okay. So my original servlet is supposed to go to this servlet. So avoid unnecessary confusion, delete this part. What this servlet is doing, it's just printing something in the console that I am from servlet. So something like this. I am from servlet. Right? Now I have created a filter also. Okay. I created only one filter, my filter. So see, my filter, and it implements filter. So if you want to use filter, what you need to do? You need to implement filter interface, and filter interface is having three methods: init, destroy, and do filter. So this is init. I'm not doing anything in init and destroy. The main job is going to be done by this do filter. So every time do filter is going to be called. So what I'm doing in this one, this filter is doing what? Filter is invoked before it's printing first of all this line. After then chain dot do filter, it's telling that call the next filter. But there is no next filter, so what will happen? It will go to the servlet, hello servlet, and it will be called. And after doing that, it will come back and it will execute filter is invoked. So this is what? This is pre-processing, this is post-processing, and this is what? Actual processing by the server. Fine. As you have seen here in this figure, this is what? Whatever you are doing before this servlet, request reaching to the servlet, that is pre-processing. Then it's going to servlet. Okay. After then, response is generated, then it's doing what? It's doing post-processing. Okay, so before sending the response to the client, the data can be filtered. So what should be our result? Our result should be first of all this one, then this one is calling servlet. So servlet is doing what? It's printing I am from servlet, then filter is invoked after. Okay, so this one should be the order. Now one thing I told, in web.xml you need to write the entry. Okay, so you are using servlet, so there should be a servlet mapping. Okay, so my servlet hello servlet is known by servlet 1. Okay, now before servlet 1, okay, I want to apply a filter. So see, there is a filter here tag, and in filter mapping I am writing here servlet 1, means my filter correspond to this servlet 1. This servlet 1 means hello servlet. And this is the name of the filter f1, and this is what? This is the actual filter com.filter.myfilter. Fine. So your job is done. One more thing, I'm not directly calling this servlet. So I have created a simple, very simple thing. Okay, hyperlink. So if I click this, if I run this index.html, so this will appear. Click here, and if I click, then servlet 1 will be called. Servlet 1 means, if you see the web.xml, Servlet 1 means what? What is Servlet 1? Servlet 1 means it's hello Servlet actually will be called. So index.html, okay, run on server, next, finish, click here, you can see, so it will appear, and when I click save, so it will call what? Servlet. But in servlet, no, what I'm doing, if you see the servlet, I have used only sysout. Okay, I am from servlet. I am not using print writer and println so that I can write something in browser. I just want to test what is happening, what is the order of execution. So what is happening? See the how. First of all, if we go to filter, this filter, and this line will be executed. Filter is invoked before, so filter is invoked before. Then chain.do filter, so it will call next filter, but since there is no filter, it will call the servlet. Okay, so it's going to the servlet, and from servlet I'm getting and from servlet. Okay, and once servlet is done, so after servlet is done, what's happening? After the response is generated, so this is what post processing. Okay, so it's going to be printed. Filter is invoked. So that's what we discussed here. If you remember in this PPT. 1, 2, 3. So you should know this concept, and this concept is going to be applied when you move forward, when you study, Spring Web Services, filter listeners. The concepts are going to be applied there. So you must be having knowledge of this. If any query question, you can ask this. You can ask any question. It's fine with everyone? Hello. Okay, okay, fine. Okay, so I think again is here. Hello, again, can you hear me? Okay, okay. So if you want to do something, you can do. You can extend it a little bit more. If you have any query, any question, again is here, we can discuss.
Guys, I'm audible.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yes.
Already, I think you have learned the concept of filter. And last time we did something login. What a login app? I'm going to show you one more example of it. Do you understand the filter concept or not?
Yes, yes. Yeah, we understand.
Okay. So, as you know, filter is a component and it is a part of JSP servlet. Filter comes in the picture when it comes in the picture, whenever you make a request to the server, right? This is the server, right? The filter ko you can think as a gatekeeper. You know gatekeeper, a watchman. This is a big building, right? If somebody wants to go inside the building, he will be intercepted by whom? Not replying. Filter. So I'm going to use a general terminology that is called resource. So resource could be anything. It could be HTML page, it could be JSP, or it could be servlet. Are you following me? So if you want to access any resource, you know, resource, you understand what I'm saying? HTML, guys reply, girl. Then I understand. You have
JavaScript.
JSP, OB, anything, servlet. So tell me, who will come in the picture? Filter. So if somebody would say, what is a filter? So you can say filter is a component who request, right? So filter, when you make a request, first of all, filter will come in the picture. Filter will say, hey, who are you? Who are you, right? After that, whatever you know, then filter can forward your request to the requested resource. For example, suppose you want to access, in my case, assume I want to access login.jsp. So my request will go to the filter, right? A filter will decide I can access my login.jsp or not. You got it or confused? So for one request, filter will come. First time when you make a request will go to the filter and filter will forward your request to the corresponding resource. Once resource is processed, then again it will come back to the filter, right? The filter is intercepting and outgoing response from here. Clear or confused?
Clear.
So if you want to make a filter, I'm going to make a filter. The question may be, what is the use of it, right? The filter may have many uses, and I'll show you. Right now, my filter, whatever request you will request, my filter will say, hello resource, right? Hello resource and time. You got my intention? If you want to make a filter, here, you see this, people? But I can make a filter package. Why? Because package is used to group the classes as per the its functionality. So I'm just making a filter. You see this? You know how to make a filter? I'm just making a filter. My filter is timer filter. It could be anything. Hey guys, you confused or you got it? What happened? Like, I'm making it manually, right? You maybe have, that's fine with me. So I'm saying, hey, timer filter. I want to make it filter. So you can implement filter interface. Ah, yes, you know.
Yes.
Come from javax.servlet, and this filter is an interface, and this interface contains 3 methods, right? So you have to give all the method definitions, right? So we have destroy, we have init. I'm not interested in destroy. I'm interested in init and you know this. Uh, 3 methods. These are the called life cycle of the filter. So when your filter, when your filter is in slice, then this is called, and when your filter is going to give service, this is called. Huh? Confused? And my filter component is ready. So you want to call this filter for which incoming request? I want to say, hey filter, using this filter, web filter. Like here I just mentioned /star. People, /star means hey filter.
Maybe all.
/star means hey, you have hey, you have to what? You have to come for all incoming requests. Huh? Confused? No. No. Filter is going to intercept all the incoming requests. Got my point? So here we have a servlet request. I can cast this into HTTP servlet request. What man? Why? HTTP servlet request is the subclass of, sorry, you can say it is a, okay, you can say subclass or subinterface of servlet request. So you can downcast it. Why I'm downcasting it? Because this has limited method and it has more method. In this we have a method that is called get servlet path. It will give you the name of the resource. You know the name of the resource? Your login page, HTML page. Hmm? Hmm. Resource name. And guys, you want to print it? Nobody replying. You are following me or not? My filter will access the resource name which you want to access. Hello, Mr. What? Resource name equals to resource name. Got it? But this is very tough. You understand? At hello, Mr. Resource. Name is that, and you can print the time at, right? If you want to print the time, you can use new date. I hope I'm making myself clear. After that, my gatekeeper is saying, what's your name? Then hello, Mr. Resource name at this time. After that, it say go ahead. Go ahead means go. If you want to say go ahead, here you have to write do filter again. Do filter. And here you can pass. I'm sorry. You have to say go ahead. So you can use chain. This chain is basically used to say go ahead. And you can use do filter and you can pass request and response. Confused? This line is doing what? Go ahead. Understood? This is important. The filter is coming, request is coming over here. After that, you say go ahead. Can I try if allowed to me? People, whatever I'm doing is not easy. So if it is not easy, ask questions. Yeah. I'll show the purpose of it. So far, it is just printing. What happened? I don't know. You see, it's printing the name or not? Hello, Mr. Slash. No. Guys, you have to reply also. Which is my JSP name? My JSP name is login.jsp. I can type over here. See, now what is it is printing? Hello, Mr. Resource name login.jsp at this time. I hope you understand this much. I'm confused. I'm telling you one thing. I have seen in this session. I'm taking many sessions, okay, many batches. But in this session, I don't know. I think you guys are scared, right? Two things is there. Either you don't understand anything, zero, or you guys are very smart, understand everything.
No, I'm following you. It's okay.
Okay, that's great, man. So here, whatever resource you access, it will print it. Okay, I'm just entering username password. You see, when you enter, click on this button, you click on this login, you hit which servlet? Auth. It is printing. Magic. It's clear to you? Okay. Okay. So let me show you one use of it, right? This is last for today. What? It is last for today. Like filters, I can write many program, even I don't know what I can do. I don't know. A second. Click on this button. Click on this button. Tick. Okay, I'm trying. I don't know. What is my intention? Sir, you have to reply. My intention is when I click on the clear button, right? My filter say, hey, you cannot click on this. You understand what I'm trying to do is when you click on the login button is fine. When you click on the sign up button is fine, right? But when you clear button, then what message you have to show? Hey, you cannot click on the clear button. It is under the construction. My intention is clear. The problem, how I can write the code, that's my part. But you should understand my intention. Somebody saying, hey Nagendra, यहाँ पे ना login पे तो just देखो I can write anything. I don't know. Yes, whatever is coming on my mind, I can write that thing. So here, clear, right? That's okay. Are you with me?
Can you make it reset instead of button so that it just clears?
What I should write over here?
No, on your HTML code, the JSP file.
No, I'm not following you. What do you mean by that?
You see the clear, it's a type of button, right?
Yeah, that's fine. This is a button.
Yeah.
So here, basically, when you click, not ready. Okay. So basically, my intention is
That
when
makes
you
sense,
click,
yeah.
when you click on this button, it should show the message. So let me make that beautiful JSP first, right? Which can show me the message. JSP name is not ready, right? Yeah. So I'm going to design it. Like, I don't know how I do it. I don't know the how to write the code for it. Honestly, I'm telling you. What if my plan was, when you access it, it should block your page. But I changed my plan. Got it?
Yes.
So let's see if we can do it or not. Not ready. I can. Okay. So let's take some icon. She's not ready, kind of. Okay. Take this picture. Not ready. Not. Rather fast. We have to be. You know what I'm doing? Nothing. I'm just designing a page. I need a page. So let's do that. Sorry. Not ready. We are good to go. Are you confused?
Good.
I just designed the page. Sorry. No way. Sorry. My image is ready with sorry. Right? It is. But you know what I'm doing? I'm doing a little fast, but it's okay. This image, where I need to put it? My page is sorry.png. I need to replace where I don't know. Here. This is my GSP. This is my photo. Sorry, nah? Sorry. And Niji, I don't need this form, so you can delete it. Even I don't know. Sorry. This page is under construction. It's clear? Yes, it's clear. It's clear. Do you anybody know Marky? Huh? No, yes.
No.
Okay.
No.
कोई नहीं. So you see today this Marky. Scroll amount. You can make 100. It's nothing. So let me check. Hey, this is paid design. Paid design is nothing here. It's just for, beautification purpose. You see? Oh, let's scroll amount. Okay. Whatever I'm doing is not important. This is only for beautification purpose. It is not important. I said it is not important at all. Ball. Nah, let's do. So my page is ready, guys. Yep. And I'm not, you know what I'm doing? Nothing. This is called design. And design is not your concern. You have to just focus on the logic, not design. Nah? Oh, Mr. When we have to show this page when? When somebody click on?
Not ready button.
No, one way we can do as a lazy, without filter, right? I can make a hyperlink to it. Can I do? Yeah. But that is cheating, right? That no, we are not supposed to do like that. It's fine. Basically, my call go should whom? My call go to filter, right? Like if you click on the not ready button and you want your call should go to the filter, you have to make this button submit. Hmm? Hmm. Now what happened? We have two submit button. Anushka, are there?
Yes, yes, I'm here.
We have two submit button, login and not ready. So how you recognize? You click on the login button or you click on this not ready button, right? How? Na? We have to do something in the filter, right? Yes. So what you can do is, even I don't know, but you can give the name to the button, है ना, Anushka? This button name is login और यहाँ पे button name is any guess? Not ready. So now every button has what? Name. So what I can do is, I'm trying, I don't know it is possible or not, right? I'm trying. What I'm doing? Hey, can I access the button name so that you can come to know? You are not replying. I just want to do यहाँ पे अभी name you can use. But a name login, I'm confused. Really, I'm very confused. Name you can have same. Give me a second. Button का नाम, let's do like common name. Common B, common what? Common name, but it's not good. I'm thinking. सोचना मेरे को. Hello, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. You can take the variable name here, button name. Na? Button name. This variable name is button name. I don't know what I'm doing. Button name, and you can put some value here. What value? यहाँ पे value is login and यहाँ पे value is Anushka. My intention is when I read it, it should show me login or not ready. Yeah. तो यहाँ पे button name. Confused? नहीं. I have both the button name, and values are different. I'm trying now, right? And I don't know. I'm going to value in my filter. What? Button name. Nah? Let's see my purpose is solved or not. After that, I can take the decision. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to print the value of it. Guys, basically, I want to know on which button it is clicked. Filter will tell me, okay? It's too fast, or you understand? In JSP, I created two button and I have given same name, different value in order to ensure it is clicked where. Fine. So let's do that. देख अभी किसी बटन पे क्लिक नहीं हुआ, right? It's null. Now you click on the not ready. Not ready is coming. Now you click on the login. Login is calling. My job is done. I'm able to understand. Sorry, I'm able to find which button is clicked. Okay or not? So I can take the decision. What? हमें क्या करना है? अब I can put a condition over here. What people? If tell me. If button name not equals to null, null नहीं है, and you guys are not helping me. It is not null और इसमें login है.
Login.
Login, right? We are smart. Sorry. Login इसको you can write equal and button name. अगर ये login है, right? तो it will go inside. Else यहाँ पे. ठीक है? अगर if it is login, तो whatever you are doing, do in that way. It's clear to you? Or in other case, अगर if it is login, तो let him go. इसको बाहर कर दो. People, what I did? If it is login, I said go ahead. Go ahead means ठीक है जाने दो, right? And but I have to. But in this case, some problem is. Give me a second. In this case, only for login it will go. For other thing, it will be blocked. ठीक है चलेगा. It's okay. If it is login, you will say go ahead. Else, what you need to do? What? Else, अगर login नहीं है, right? So क्या है? अबे else if लिखो. Else if, right? If it extension. Else, what? What is next? Which one is the next? No.
Not ready button.
हाँ, actually login button है तो ये if not login ये है ना, और like अगर if it is else, right, else में what you say, always go ahead. Am I right or not? This is good condition, ना? If this is go ahead, ना? Yeah, you can write one condition. So I'll tell you, we can optimize it. Not a big deal. So where is my thoda, I don't know what I need to do. Not ready, ना? तो यहाँ पे not ready. थोड़ा सा I confuse you, I know. देखो, what you can do, for everything you have to allow, right? Not ready. For not ready, you just write special case, and for else you can say go ahead. That's cool. So in case of not ready, what we have to do, Anushka? I have to forward him to which page?
Or not ready page.
Not ready.jsp.
JSP.
So if you want to actually here, I don't know, you have done forward and we have two kind of thing. Forward and similar to forward, we have send redirect. What? We have send redirect also. So you can use both, but let me try. है ना? Try करते हैं. Okay. यहाँ पे where I want to go, I want to go to. कैसे करते हो? Remember? God कुछ पढ़ाया गया था? Get dispatcher Servlet. I don't remember. Can you help me? Get dispatcher, and here you can write the name of the page where you want to go. Not ready.jsp. It's fine. Hello. Huh? Anushka, what I did, I said, hey, what hey? इसमें ना you have to pass request and response. चलेगा क्या? Request. We got confused? नहीं. देखो, here I wrote simple condition. If button name comes not ready, is clicked on this, then you say to go to where? Not ready.jsp. You confused or got it? Yes.
Got it.
So my job is done. It should work, right? Button name go. I'm just printing abhi ke liye, but I'll remove it. What about the other people? Like here, in my JSP file, we have two buttons. So if you click on the login will go. If you click on the not ready will go. If you don't click on any button, then what will go, Anushka? Null. Because sometimes request may be going from some other page where you do not have either login or not ready. So in that case, this will have null. If it is not null and not ready, so you say, hey, don't chain.do filter means go ahead. Here, no. You have to go to not ready.jsp. Can I try? This is one use of filter, but we can show you many use of it. Okay. Doing some pre-processing before reaching to you actual, whatever. Index.jsp, right? It should work. It is. What happened? Somebody's crying?
Huh?
Mute yourself. Here we have login.jsp. एक सेकंड, प्रभात कहाँ से आ रही है आवाज? एक सेकंड. So here, what you can do, you can run it. So where we should click? Can you tell me if you have auth Servlet in this, what username password? Jack and Jill. If I enter Jack and Jill, it should work or not? Yes, man. I haven't blocked for it. Thank you. Wow. And when you click on the not ready button, oh, you understand the flow or not? Confused? It is done by filter. This is a big thing I'm telling you. Who is doing this job? Filter. In filter, we have
Question again.
before I ask your question,
This is Suman.
yes, Mr. Schumann, what your question is?
Yes. So the code you wrote on the timer filter, you could have just written it in your servlet, right? So why it would still work if you write that everything in your servlet? Why would you want to create separate filter for that?
Okay, so your question is, in order to implement this functionality, right? क्या करना चाह रहे हो आप? In order to implement this functionality, you can easily do with in JSP itself. That's your question?
No, the code you wrote on the filter, like if it's if the user pressed the not ready button, then forward it to the certain JSP, you could have just done it in your servlet, right?
Uh-huh.
So why would you want to create the filter for that? You could have just written it in the servlet, and it would still work.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I'm telling you, you know, filter main job is, generic, right? So here, if you do this job with servlet, that servlet is going to do a particular task on that action, right?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But filter is for every incoming request. So you tell me, whatever you say, I can, uh, I can give you some example. Let me try to explain you. Your concern is you can call a filter, you can call a here servlet, and servlet can
Mhm.
navigate you to the other
Forward it,
page.
yeah. Yep.
But you know, but my intention is not that. Okay, my intention is a lot of requests is coming, but somebody click on the submit button, right? Try to understand. You don't know from where he is clicking, but what you are talking about, you know it, right? When you click on this, you will go over there. You know it, right? Suppose we have this kind of thousand of buttons. You tell me, you have to do this coding everywhere or not? Every GSP, every GSP. Tell me, Suman. Your
Yeah.
question is very genuine. If you if you have to write a button, and when you click on this button, not ready, and this button is at 1,000 places, right? So on
Mhm.
1,000 or not explicitly.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Yep.
But here benefit is, here all the request is coming at the central place to filter, and just filter is checking condition. If it is happening, it is forwarding, right? So benefit is this become loosely coupled, and it is centralized, right? Because everybody is coming here, right? So I can
Okay.
so filter benefit is you can write code at centralized place, at one place. Okay,
All right.
got it?
Yeah. Yeah.
देख अब मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ? मैं चाहता हूँ कि anybody, next example could be, I'm not writing today. I want because somebody is trying to log in between 10 a.m. to, you people can think about it. I'm people, right? I'm trying to log in between 10 a.m. to sorry. 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. You got a point? If I'm logging in between, you should allow to me, right? If I'm logging into it after 10 p.m. or before 10 a.m. So you can say this application is not ready in between, right? Or you can give the message, this application is only available between 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. You got my point?
Mhm.
What my requirement is? My requirement is my application should give service to the people between 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. If somebody is accessing after 10 p.m. or before 10 a.m. So what message you have to give to him? Hey, this application is only available between 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's it. Thank you. So how you can do this? Hmm?
Use the filter.
You can use filter. Fine. The
Yeah.
filter has a lot of. Let me give you another example. You may be using internet banking, right? In internet
Mhm.
banking, if you are not accessing your application for 2 to 3 minutes, okay, like 1 minute, 2 minute, normally your session is timeout. Hmm? So that is another use of filter. But filter, we can show you many examples. No worry about it. Fine.
All right.
But your intention is, if you understand this program, whatever we discussed, that's cool. This is not easy, right? But we have a lot of things in this. So you have all this code. I don't know. I can make a zip of it and share with you right now. I don't know how many people understand this or not. I don't know. But you just go and give a try. because things are not simple. You may be new to the programming, that's why it may be taking time, but when you do thing again and again, you'll be comfortable after some time. So let me share my code. And one thing I'm gonna tell you, you guys, I'm saying, right, I'm not in favor of the recording, right? So if you attending the session, try to understand in session itself. Because sometimes what happen when you depend on the recording, you always look for the recording only. And once you get a job, your manager may be explaining there's some problem to you, but you have practice of recording, right? So recording for some special some complex session it is okay, but not for each and every sessions. So my main motive is don't you forget about the recording. You just focus on session. Whatever we are doing, just do it. If you are not able to do it, you can ask trainer to repeat it. He will repeat it, not a problem. And down the line, if you forget something, we can revise it. But it's not like we are stopping recordings right now. We are not. Right? I hope you understand my intention, people. आप लोग तो कुछ बोल ही नहीं रहे हो.
Yes.
That's good.
You know why I'm telling you all those things? Because I'm doing this job from last 9 years at least. Right? So I know very well what to do, what not to do. So that's only reason. So I know which thing is important for you, because our motto is you should understand each and everything in best possible ways. So let me give you everything we have. One small diagram. So you understand the filter? Filter is a component which is used to intercept incoming request to the server. Okay, it's done. Yep. Last, anybody have any question query for me? किसी के पास है कोई question query? Huh? No? No. Okay then. प्रभात कुछ कहना है इनको? अच्छा, I think today Avinash sent you the message. We have special classes on weekends, right? पता नहीं. I don't know you got that message or not. Yeah, he might be sending you guys. So this session is for those people who missed the session in the beginning. उसमें I think we may be covering basic of OOPS concept, right? जो भी आपके doubt clarifications हैं and some topics. So Avinash has sent the message so far or not? I'm not very sure. अभी तक.
No, he hasn't.
I don't think so.
He may be sending you. So when he sent the message, right? So it is not for everybody because we are going to cover very, very basic. Done. Chaliye, though I have done with the session. Anybody have any question query for me?